Hello and welcome. How much compost should you apply? Well, it depends. If you're dealing with a brand new bed, then the clip you'll see in a minute, a nice deep layer will be good. A bed like this that hasn't been composted but it's had green manure on, I'm going to put it a little bit thicker. Generally speaking, about an inch deep. And that's on a bed that's had yearly applications, and that will be absolutely fine. A couple of pointers is that you can mulch under existing crops if you so wish. These are going to have, this bed is going to have onions afterwards. These poor cabbages are on the worst of wear from the frosts, but peel away the outer layers, some of them will be okay. The compost, as I said, is a little bit deeper, probably 2 inches deep. But this bed, as I say, only had compost on it 2 years ago, nothing last year. The compost is full of lumps and bumps, but that's absolutely fine. That's just the same as nature. No need to sieve it unless you want to do it for aesthetic purposes only. So I move across to my borrow plot. This is my onion bed, needs a good weed. The bottom half is newly transferred over to no dig with a metre wide former path dug over. Essentially though, it's going no dig. There's the weeding done and the compost applied. Perhaps not quite thick enough in the middle part, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's definitely, I'll need to apply a little bit more there looking back. The next bed over was also prepared in the same manner, but this had a lot more couch grass in this metre wide section here. All those roots come out of it. So yes, I did dig, but I just feel with couch grass it's necessary, and before it did have cardboard over it, so the cardboard just did not keep it away. Couch grass loves growing under cardboard. And so there we are, these two beds are ready for the springtime. The overwinter onions are on the go, and the field beans will be chopped and dropped later, but essentially those beds are ready. It's interesting to note how the performance will be between the two. This bed is back on my main plot. This is a carrot bed where I've applied seaweed for the last month just as a mulch. I want to see how the carrots interact with the seaweed. It is going to have a thin layer of spent compost applied. This is compost that I've used on my potatoes for the last 2 years. So it's time to be used in the general beds. Obviously I don't want it to go on the potatoes again because I think it's been used for about 3 years. Compost isn't ever truly spent really, because even though I've used it for potatoes and reused it, there still will be the essential building blocks of life for the microbiology, and once it gets in contact with the soil again, the microbiology will interact with the compost, and despite its low fertility at start, it will build good conditions for carrots. Carrots really don't need a high degree of fertility anyway. It'll be interesting to see how the top half with the seaweed mulch will actually work. I will show you the progress as we go through the year, including disasters. If I get a disaster, I'll show it, I don't mind. We all learn by mistakes as well as the successes, and let's celebrate the failings as well, eh? So yeah, this interesting note on the left in the shadow of the camera there, the mycelia that have worked on the path where it's been covered by the carpet over winter, the mycelia have been able to work on the wood chips that are there and are thoroughly enjoying life. Whilst this clip is running in the background, I just want to quickly mention timing. It is better to apply in the autumn, but this time of the year is fine as well. The longer the better, because the microbiology will work on that compost, get it down through to the soil, and obviously the earthworms will have a better impact. However, it has been excessively wet, and whilst leaching isn't an excessive problem, because again, even though the current fluid nutrients will leach, microbiology will release more later on. Not quite signing off yet, because it's now time to collect some leaves. I found that on a Sunday afternoon or evening, I can go down for the road. I shouldn't look too bizarre in front of too many people, so it's a good time to collect leaves off the road. And there we are. I'm in the lane, picking up the leaves with a few more to go. Doing no harm, looking like a weirdo. Well, how prophetic was that? I was duly picking up the leaves in the lane, and two young ladies come walking past. One said to the other, "Look at that weirdo." Well, there we go. I guess it does look a bit strange. Old man on his knees picking up leaves. Anyway, speaking of chaos, that there leaf mode bin works a treat. It's really rickety. It's made of scrap bags, scrap bits of fencing, but it works an absolute treat. I had a delivery of wood chips at home. Unfortunately, I had to look like a weirdo because I'm allergic to the spores, so this is a bit of a theme coming on now. So now I can strip the beds. I'm not going to put membrane down this time. I'm going to try it without, because after I strip off the old wood chip, which is now 3 years old, sieve it and use it in the compost, this stuff will be ready to start again. That's from all the path. Nice big mound of 3-year-old wood chips. Jason, Colleen, what's going to happen to those? I just want to make a notation on somebody else's plot here. This guy here always suffers from weeds. He sprayed Roundup 4 weeks ago and has put a Rotovating over it today. And why not? It works for him. He grows good crops. And if that's the way you like growing, why not? Too many people put down too many other people for doing it different ways. I say, if you're happy doing gardening any particular way you like, as long as you're not messing with anybody else, why not indeed? Good luck to him. Interestingly, the alfalfa really didn't do well. I've got to get rid of this because there is now some of the native weeds are starting to flower, and I don't want them to set seed, so I've got to do that as a matter of urgency. Yeah, so that's a bit of a shame, but the alfalfa, there is remnants of the alfalfa left, but you know what, time to cut my losses with them because there's more weed than alfalfa now. And here on my second plot is field beans, looking really good, making a nice early crop this year. That's great, but the alfalfa is still causing me problems. This has been denied light for quite a little while, and yet there's still regrowth under this black plastic. It's still coming through. Not really sure what to do here. Oh well. Nothing's ever straightforward. This is the vetch. Never normally finish until springtime, and I usually smother in February. It's still January at the moment, and you can just make out the first weed seeds, weed flowers coming on the plants. So it's going to have to be smothered very early. Not sure if it's entirely done its job. I've applied the carpet on the top half. This is where the clover was.
As you can see, there's hardly any left. Weeds are starting to take over. It really didn't like that cold snap. So this is bedevilness at the moment. This is Australian flatworms. They were sitting under a bin that I've just moved. Perfect environment for them. Absolute nuisance. Eat all our earthworms. Thank you very much, guys. See you again next week, and till then, stay safe.